Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a plan with me for the week of August 28th through September 3rd, 2023 using my B5 Archer&Olive notebook. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. Here we are in my B5 Archer&Olive notebook. I will be going with a more unique layout this week like I did last week. Really excited to be using a similar layout. I will be using this stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, which I'm really excited about. Some new number stamps from Heidi Swap. These Days of the Week stamps. The week number stamp from this set from Elle Studio. I will be using one of the stamps from this set from rubberstamps.com. I'll be using the August stamp from this set from Paper Person and these Alice number stamps from Studio Calico. I will be using two of these stencil butters from the Crafter's Workshop in turquoise and fuchsia, as well as two just oxides and my black VersaFine ink for this week's spread. Really excited to be getting back into some stencil butters. I loved using them a couple of weeks ago and I definitely want to use them more to get some more practice in with them and just figure out how to use them best. My idea for this week's spread was to add some deco to the top using a similar layout to last week. I really wanted to use some bright green and hot yellow. We're nearing the end of August. This week is hopping into the first week in September, and I just feel like the idea I had for this spread is very summery, so I needed to do it now. Something about the turquoise and fuchsia stencil butters along with this stencil made me think of like Miami in the summertime. I feel like it could be a wallpaper in a Miami club or something like that. I don't know. It's just giving me like high summer energy, which I was really excited about. And so the idea that I had was to basically use this stencil with the distressed oxides first and then apply these stencil butters over it, not on everything, but only in specific areas. And the reason why I decided to not do it on everything is that towards the left, I do want to put the August stamp, week number stamp, and the week of the year that it is. And I'm not going to be able to do that over the stencil butters, but I can do it over the distressed oxides. So in this little first section here, I have things a little bit slower so that you can see what I'm doing. I basically put the distressed oxides down first, and now I'm going in with the stencil butters in the two different colors to kind of color in some of the areas. And I didn't move the stencil at all in between these steps. I just left it right where it was before. As you can see, I'm again not putting the stencil butter on everything, just on specific areas. And I think that as I was doing this, I was becoming much more comfortable with using the stencil butters and realizing that, I kind of just have to apply a lot of it at first, spread it out over the stencil, and then kind of scrape off the excess. That seems to be what works best for the stencil butters. Now I'm moving over to the left page of the spread again along this top area. I'm kind of going in with my pink distress oxide first, and then going to go in with the green and kind of fill in the other areas. I was trying to differentiate the colors in certain spots, but then also fade from one to the other in others. I do like the way that the pink fading into green or green fading into pink looks. As long as I kind of fade it in enough and it's not, too stark going from one color to another. The unfortunate thing about this stencil is that it didn't cover the whole width of one side of the page. So while I just went in with my Distress Oxides and I'm now going in with the stencil butters, I am going to have to pick this stencil up and move it over a little bit because there is some more that I still need to do with the Distress Oxides along the top. As you can see on this page of the spread, I'm kind of concentrating the stencil butters towards the right. And again, my reason for doing that is because I do want to go in with some stamps and black ink up top, and I won't be able to do that over the stencil butters. So applied a little bit of each again, and then transition the stencil over just so that I could get the last little bit on the page and have it go all the way to the edge. Once I'm done with doing that, I am going to start going in with my other stamps. I'm doing the Alice number stamps like last week to indicate what week of the year it is, and as well, like last week, I am putting them in a position where they're going to be cut off just a little bit, which I really liked last week. For the August stamp, I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to put it. I would have liked to lower it down and layer it over the 35, but because everything is in black ink, I just think it would have gotten very muddled. So I did put it up a little higher, and then I squeezed that week number stamp in on the side of the 3. Now I'm going in with these date stamps from Heidi Swap. I've had these for a while actually, but I just haven't used them. Because I usually do a vertical layout, or at least I have been lately, using those larger number stamps that I love from Heidi Swap makes more sense because I have more room. With this layout being a little bit different, having a smaller number stamp and a smaller days of the week stamp makes more sense with this. So that's why I kind of decided to give these a try. I'm also thinking of really downsizing my planner for 2024, and so I think getting some practice in with some smaller stamps is not a bad thing. I got these days of the week stamps. I'm not actually sure where they're from, to be told. But if I do figure it out, I will put a link to the shop down below in the description box. I do always have links down below in the description box to the websites that I got stamps or stencils from that I'm using in the current video. They're not affiliate links at all. They're just so that you all know where I got things from and can go to their websites to purchase if you're interested. Now, as you can see in the 1st of September box, I did make a little bit of an error. I didn't realize that one of the stamp sets I was using, I laid it down on the page and it actually got some of the pink stencil butter on it. And then when I went to move it, it got on the box. I was so frustrated when I noticed that because I was actually being relatively neat during this plan with me, which a lot of times I do get splotches of ink places. It is what it is, but I was so frustrated. I couldn't believe that I did that. Now, after doing all the dates and days of the week, I did add a notes header to the box in the top right. Instead of having Jim and notes, I just went with a note section. I did do the lines for the separation of each day of the week off camera for ease. I hope that you all enjoyed this plan with me. As always, be safe, everyone. Bye-bye.